Recording in progress.
A motion to approve the minutes with the changes I just mentioned. Is that how it works?
That would be correct.
Okay, so I made that motion, which somebody needs to second.
I'll second. Any
Sorry, you
discussion?
seconded?
I'm sorry,
You seconded?
yes. Any discussion on those changes? Roll call? Sorry, I know if you need a couple minutes.
Ms. Kenya?
Yes.
Ms. Coop?
Yes.
Ms. Pasquarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes. And a resolution to pay bills in the amount of $668,335.04.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Gerhart is not here. Ms. Kenya?
Yes.
Ms. Meyer? I'm sorry, didn't update that one. Ms. Coop?
Yes.
Ms. Pasquarelli?
Yes.
And Ms. Thomas?
Yes. Are there any communications from the commission at this time? Okay, moving on to public comments on agenda items only. And when you come up, just sign in your name and town, and you will have 4 minutes to be recognized. Any public comments on agenda items only?
I'm sorry, I just forgot, what would be the agenda item at this point? The minutes of financial resolution?
Well, anything like a resolution or anything on the agenda that you might have a question on. Yeah, no, I know. Okay, old business. So the library commission bylaws. So there was a subcommittee organized to do that, made up of 2 of us, Debbie and myself. And between sickness and vacations, we just haven't had a chance to do that yet, but we do have a date set that we're gonna be discussing the bylaws and just take a look at them and see if there's anything to be, that need to be changed. And then the meeting recordings, is that all set up now? To have the meeting recordings go for a month after?
So I spoke with Bob Sidey, who's the head of county IT. He has met with a vendor to discuss the equipment needed. So he's waiting for a proposal. It should be coming back within the next week. He believes that proposal is going to go to the county commissioners at the April 23rd meeting. He said if it's approved, his estimate is the installation of equipment would happen in July or August.
And this is still via Zoom, right? Or
Not
are we going to
necessarily.
Oh, okay, so because I know the commissioners use WebEx, right?
I think
I
so.
believe.
They're actually, the proposal, when he met with the vendor, I guess they're actually redoing their equipment as well,
Okay, so there's a chance that it could be WebEx as opposed to Zoom.
potentially.
Okay,
And that's presuming it's a video recording?
Correct.
Did we ever establish that we wanted a video recording? Didn't we were just discussing about an audio recording. I could be wrong, Jill, I don't remember.
Sure.
I
We
think it
have-
was just a recording, and since
Yeah, I don't
We
think
have,
have visual.
we do have the server space if it's just kept up for the 1 month for the video. It's up to you.
but only one, oh yeah, 1 month, that's what we said. That's what I thought we were gonna do,
I thought that's what we decided on,
audio only.
but he still has to.
If you're going to stream, maybe I misunderstood, but you want to stream it like they do the county meetings,
Right,
which has the video.
Okay,
So that's the quote he's getting.
okay, for streaming.
Now, what is it now that's set up? They can listen, they can speak, but they can't see?
They can see.
Understand what more? They can see, but we're not recording it.
We are recording this.
We're just not posting.
It hasn't been
Present.
posted. The county wants to do it the same format that they're using for the county commissioner meetings.
They want to, the county commissioners want that?
Because it's all going to be handled by a county IT, so it'll all be the same.
Right, okay. But then, because I had questioned that a while ago, like just to streamline everything, but the library uses Zoom for, do you use it for other things?
We do. We use it for staff meetings. We use it for public programs. We hire people throughout the country now for different programs that we can do virtually.
Okay.
Where's the camera?
Right here.
Yeah.
The hour.
So then if we went to WebEx for the meetings, you would still be able to use Zoom for the library purposes, right? Or no?
We'd probably be using
But,
WebEx.
oh, okay, so
At
the
that
whole
point.
thing everything would change.
Right.
Okay,
Software would change.
When we
Okay.
had this conversation, I wasn't aware any expense would be expended to deliver this, and now it sounds like there is.
well, that's what I was thinking. If we streamlined everything, I was just thinking maybe that would save money as opposed to being separate, a separate entity using Zoom. But when I found out that you guys use Zoom for everything else,
Right. We still would keep the Zoom license.
okay,
Because we're using it for other purposes.
okay, all right. So this is gonna be another expense then if we go to WebEx.
Right. I mean, it's certainly your decision as to how you want to handle it.
Right. All right.
What's happening right now? Are we posting it at all?
No.
Right, because
So it's just live.
there's not enough.
It's live, exactly.
It's
Right.
live, but nothing's posted, okay.
We could.
So the county meetings are, they're live and they're posted.
Correct.
And they're posted only for a certain amount of time because I guess
To
there
the next
isn't
meeting, I
enough,
believe.
right, it's like not enough
Not
room or
only that,
something.
but there's an issue when there's recordings as to what constitutes an official record of the meeting. And for the following month, there isn't one because we haven't approved the minutes yet. But that was why I was thinking 1 month, because then by 1 month, there's the minutes, approved minutes, which was,
You have a
lot of
record.
information, so, anyway, I guess we're,
Is it something you still want to pursue?
Well, so if the county is wanting us to kind of come under what they're doing.
Right, with county IT.
I don't have a problem. If
I
they
mean-
want that, I don't want either. We didn't have to spend any additional money.
Right, that
I'd rather
was
spend the money on materials.
Well, that was the
than-
whole thing.
How much is it
Sure.
gonna be? Like, we don't even know.
Right.
So I guess
Yeah.
we find out.
So we'll get a price first and then we can make our decision from there.
I can certainly ask them to hold off on it.
Right. So let me just make sure I understand. So we're looking into going to WebEx just for the meetings.
We're looking at new equipment and probably new software, not necessarily WebEx. Bob Asadi has not yet said specifically what the software will be.
Okay. So if we chose to just stay with Zoom for the meetings here, we would just have to get equipment to get room on the servers or something, right?
There
Am I
is
saying
space,
that right?
there is space on the servers.
Okay.
That's,
So I
That's
think
not
what
an
we're
issue.
saying is we'd like to hear what.
the quote is.
Right.
And maybe as an alternative, what if we just wanted to post audio recordings? Can they do that relatively simply? And,
Yes, I think that can be
Okay.
done.
yeah, we'll find out.
You know what?
Next month, and we'll discuss.
Yeah, that actually,
As cheap as possible, but
Yes.
still effective.
right. And that actually makes sense to just have, to just have video. We don't need, audio. We don't need video necessarily.
I'd have to start like doing my hair nice or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be going on the.
All right, so there's no official resolution. So we're just gonna sit and wait and see what the prices are and then possibly,
What the quote is.
yeah, and then just stay to the audio, possibly just audio. But we'll wait and see.
Sure.
Okay, all right, so the streaming meetings, well, regardless, we're gonna continue streaming meetings, so if people can't make it, they can at least watch it.
Sure, we can continue with that. I
Right.
know, you also asked us, and both Meryl and I checked, and we did not find an official resolution authorizing Zoom meetings.
Right, so that was just under the emergency
That
order.
mean participating Zoom meeting? Refresh
Correct.
my memory.
And that was just under the emergency order, right?
Right.
Yeah.
March
2020.
2020.
Right, okay. All righty.
So I think, just to clarify, you want to continue as is for now with allowing participants remotely through Zoom?
Well, I mean, I would love to just be able to have people come to the meetings. Because streaming is beyond the Open Public Meetings Act. And I think that that's valuable. But I think we need to get back to normal. So, I mean, after tonight, if it's hooked up, is everybody in agreement with
I
that?
think we should talk about this on the bylaws. And
Oh, okay.
and then we
All right.
can present options
All right.
to the rest of the, say, look, we discussed these options, what do you think?
That makes
It's
sense.
gonna take a couple meetings to
Yeah.
review those bylaws anyway.
So keep it as is for
Yes.
now.
For now.
Zoom meeting, I'm writing this down on my bylaws notes, by the way, so we remember.
Okay.
These are all the Zoom meeting, public participation. Viewing.
Okay, and
Yes.
we are down to the library director's report.
New
business. Wait a minute.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I have two things.
Oh,
Jill, in your report, are you going to address the circulation policy?
Yes.
Okay, I'll wait till, okay,
Yep.
so that's done. And then, is there anywhere on here to discuss these emails that the county? No, I want mine disabled, I'm not gonna use it. And I don't want
Oh,
emails
the,
going there.
At warrenlib.org email.
That's it.
Anybody else want it disabled?
I think all of us do. Now, at this point, except for
You want it disabled?
the Warren Lib?
No.
Oh, you're asking to
I
have
don't
that.
want a
Oh,
personal
okay.
email on the county
No,
website.
yeah. No, the way it's set up now for me and
Just Debbie.
Tammy and,
Okay.
just Debbie wants it disabled. And I'm not sure about, I don't know about Kathleen.
She's warned. Oh, she contacted you, so it's a no.
Okay.
was a no from her.
Just under new business as well, I wanted to let you know, the assistant director's position has been posted, by the county. Haven't received any applications yet, but when they come in, I want to know if, somebody wanted to sit in on the interviews.
I can. I'll be retiring April 1st, so.
So you have some time?
I'll have some time.
It will be handled differently than the application process for the director.
Typically, you'd appoint 2 people to attend.
Oh, okay.
If
Right,
you-
so and it's usually the chair, and then
I'll
one of
make
the
a
other
motion
people.
to appoint the chair and Tammy Coop to the assistant director interview subcommittee.
Unless somebody else wants,
I'll second.
unless somebody else wants.
Did you get that?
No.
So Debbie made the motion,
Yeah,
and these are gonna be on the function, or the subcommittee.
So roll call. I'm sorry, am I going too fast? Because I know you're writing down.
I'm trying to watch her that she's writing, because I go on until I know how hard it is to do that.
Ms. Kenyon,
Yes.
Ms. Coop,
Yes.
Ms. Pascarelli,
Yes,
and Ms. Thomas.
Yes. Now we are down to the library
There we
director.
go.
Reports.
Wanted to let you know that membership to join Maine was officially approved. That happened March 28th, so we are officially members now. So over the next year, we're gonna be adding some new services,
March 28th.
February 28th, you're right. I'm thinking March,
Boy, the days are going fast.
yeah,
Fast enough.
February 28th. So over the next year, we're gonna be adding on some new services. As you know, the first big one is the catalog. We're changing over to Koha, our new computer system. Our go live date is May 5th. So that means the weekend before, that's a Monday. So from closing on Friday, May 2nd, through the morning of May 5th, no public catalog. And our staff will not be able to use any of the modules. So we're gonna have to use an offline circulation module during that time. We've used it before, so it'll be a little bit different because it's a different product, but they understand the concept behind it. Hopefully I'm hopeful, 10 a.m. on that Monday, we will be good to go. Patrons will be able to log back into their accounts. We did decide that we're gonna put in a holds embargo. So from April 14th to May 7th, patrons cannot place any holds.
April 14th to May 7th.
Yes. Bywater, the company we've contracted with for Koha, cannot transfer our holds over. So we're hoping to clean up some of those holds during those 3 weeks. And whatever's left, we have to manually enter back into the system. It's gonna be a project, but we can do it. The other big thing is TLC allows patrons to opt in if they want to record their reading histories, their loan histories. So we have some patrons who have done that. That history will not transfer over to Koha. So we're testing it out on a procedure where we'll notify patrons. They can let us know, yes, I want a list of my reading history, and we can email it to them.
We can print it too, can't we ourselves if we go
You
online?
can, it's not the easiest thing because it loads in batches. I can't remember, like 20 items. So you have to keep clicking more. So depending on how long your history is,
But it's possible, if it's not real long, we could just do it.
absolutely. And in Koha, they can opt back in to record their history if that's what they want to do. But it will only record from the start of Koha. So anything before Koha will not be there. Our Catherine Dixon Hoffman branch. I was there last week. It's looking great. Currently, they're installing shelving and some of the furniture. It looks very, very different with something inside the building that's not empty. We have decided to next week start the process of transferring all the CDH items that are at our branches back to CDH. I think I ran a report, it's like 12,500 items. So we have to manually change the items over. We have to change the locations back to CDH.
They're on the shelves now.
They are on the shelves.
They're not like in a wooden store.
We have, the ones that didn't fit on the shelves are in boxes at Southwest, and we have movers scheduled for mid-April. They're gonna bring them back from Southwest, and they put those items back on the shelf. But this 12,000 plus items, that's our staff doing it. So we're scheduling some extra staff in late April to work at CDH. They're gonna do full days there. It's gonna be tiring, but they're gonna get the items back on the shelves. As of now, we're gonna close the Hope branch on April 30th and then reopen CDH on Saturday, May 10th. I'm planning a little open house for that day. Have some refreshments. We're thinking of hiring have some live music going on, some fun decorations, things like that, so we can welcome the public back. So as of now, that is May 10th. Date's been changing, so fingers crossed that's the final date. And we will start advertising that to the public. Last Saturday was our Maker's Day. We had about 900 people visit the libraries. Yeah, it was packed. I think there was no parking available for a while at our Northeast branch. Yeah, it's our busiest day of the year. This is our 11th year participating in it, and our staff does a wonderful job with it. Our library associates, they spend months planning this event. Staff come up every year, they come up with new ideas for different STEM stations. So people came in and they created concrete planters. We also have a ton of volunteers, people who are willing to donate their time and come in. So we had a hydrogen-powered car from Air Products. Home Depot came in and they were making birdhouses. There was a lot of hammering going on.
It's very special.
Yeah. The kids were making their own tortillas and finding out about the science of it. So it's a fantastic day for our library. I visited all 3 branches on Saturday, spoke with many of our patrons, and they look forward to it every year. It's something they kind of have in the back of their mind, and when March comes along, they know it's going to be Maker's Day again, and they can bring their whole family, and there's something for all ages. So again, a big congratulations to the staff, because that's a lot of planning and hard work.
So what was the span of ages, would you say? Like, where did you see the most?
You usually see elementary age, but we had some stuff for adults.
But I mean, like 80-year-olds?
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
And I'm almost 80.
Yep. We do have people coming, and even for like the preschoolers, even if they're not necessarily doing the task or the station the way it was intended, doesn't matter. They have a good time as well. We have some kind of passive activities as well, which are good for the little ones. So maybe if an older sibling is going around to all the stations, they're occupied as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good news, we filled our librarian 1 position. Courtney Butrimowitz has accepted the position. She's been a senior library assistant at our Blairstown branch for the past 3 years. She's going to be focusing on marketing, staff training, and I'd love to get her in here to help out with the local history research because we don't really have anyone right now. She knows until we can hire more staff, she is going to still continue to work some hours at CDH in Northeast. We just need help covering the hours were open to the public. But we have posted positions for part-time assistants at all 4 branches. And we think, fingers crossed, we have one for Southwest. So,
She's starting April 24th.
okay, so we have someone started actually at Southwest in a month. We have started to receive some applications for the other branches as well. So hopefully we find some people who are good fits for those positions. And then I just wanted to make you guys aware that a couple weeks ago, President Trump signed an executive order reducing the functions for the Institute of Museum and Library Services. And that's the primary federal funding for libraries. They provide state grants to the state libraries. So for New Jersey, for example, last year, the state library received approximately $4.5 million from the IMLS. And they use that money to provide statewide services. So the
They don't grant, I'm sorry to interrupt, they're not granting money from
They
that.
call
It's the state library?
It's the state libraries. So they call them state grants, where they provide funding to the state libraries. And New Jersey State Library puts a lot of the funding towards services we use, like interlibrary loan.
Right, that's what I mean, they're not giving us money.
No,
They're providing services that are funded by,
exactly,
you called it IMLS?
exactly. We make use of the statewide databases they provide to us. That's the majority of our databases. And the other part of the funding that we utilize is the technology infrastructure, like using their servers at the state library. So right now, state library doesn't want to speculate as to what's going to happen, but they did say they are running through different scenarios if they have reduced or eliminated funding. They're looking at all of their funding resources currently, what they could potentially be adding in the future. We'll have to see. Unfortunately for us, if interlibrary loan disappears, that could be a major loss for us.
Did you send out an email on this to us? Because I saw it somewhere.
No, I
Okay, I
didn't.
just wondered.
Yeah. Maybe a news feed. So State Library said they'll keep us apprised of any developments. But I just wanted to make you aware there is potential that we could maybe see a reduction or a loss in those services that we utilize. And then Debbie, I know you had asked about the circulation policy for the magazines. The current policy is we do a 14-day loan period, so you can check out a magazine for 2 weeks. We allow patrons to place holds on the magazine, so if there's a magazine they want at another branch, they can place a hold, have it sent to their home branch for pickup. We allow it to be renewed twice, like our other materials.
Unless there's a hold?
Unless there's a hold, yeah. And we do allow the newest issue to circulate. That's something we switched probably about 12 years ago. I will just give you a heads up. All of our loan periods and renewal periods are probably going to change with Maine. The 5 library systems that are going to be part of Maine, we've all been talking about our circulation rules. And when it comes to magazines, we're all a little bit different. So one system uses it as a browsing collection only. No holds are allowed.
I'm sorry, uses the what?
As a browsing collection only. They don't allow any holds. Another.
Are we talking physical magazines?
Physical.
Only, we're not talking any of the online.
No. We do have online through Flipster
Right.
and Hoopla Binge Pass. You can check out digital magazines.
So when you say browsing only, they don't, nothing circulated.
Yes, that's one of the library systems. Another allows holds and circulating magazines except on the most recent copy. And then 3 of us allow holds and allow the most recent issue to circulate. So this is something that we all have to come to a consensus in Maine, how we want to handle the magazines. It is being discussed, but no decision has been
And I
made.
just want to, I feel very strongly about this. The current issue should not be circulating. If you go on any branch, any shelf, the newest issue you could see is 3 months ago. I'm exaggerating. It's not every, but when people go to look at a periodical, particularly something of a seasonal nature, if it's Christmas, I don't want to be reading it. Look, the only thing I can find is a 4th of July
Sure. It's
periodical.
easy enough to change that. What we used to do and what we could do again is we just call it a reference material. So in our system, we change the collection code to non-circulating.
What's the total number of periodical of magazines that can be checked out at one time?
We don't place any limit on those concurrently. So if you wanted to, you could do 75, which is at this point, our top limit overall.
That's for any materials,
Yep.
books, CDs,
We put a
DVDs, are
limit,
they different?
we put a limit of 10 concurrent checkouts for DVDs and video games. I believe those are the 2.
Okay, but otherwise, so what did you say, DVDs and video games?
Video games.
So CDs, we have CDs, right?
We
many?
do.
But not a lot.
We haven't purchased music CDs in a few years now. People aren't using them. We still have a small collection. It's not like it was,
So it's really books we're talking about, up to 75.
Oh, and we do have something called Lucky Day books. Those are ones you can't place holds on them, you can't renew them, and you're allowed 2 at a time.
And what's special about those?
Tries to be newer titles, and if it's your lucky day and you come in and you see it there, you can check it out. You might look out, some people could then take their name off the holds list because they were able to receive that item.
I
Yeah.
see. I think I did that once. Now that I remember. Thank you.
Do you take donations for books on tape?
At this point, we would take books on CD donations for our outreach collection. What we do is we take some of our discarded books on CD, and essentially we give them to the nursing homes, some of the outreach people. We try to get some of it back. Doesn't always happen.
Right.
We have a wonderful staff member, Mark, who will crawl under the beds looking for the materials, trying to get it back. He's wonderful in that position. But sometimes people have moved away or passed away, and we don't see the materials again. So we've been trying to offer them something, but yet if it disappears, it's okay.
Right.
And when I asked about CDs, it's books on tape, it's not music or both.
We have music and we also have books on CD, but the circulation for those continues to decrease as well. Those are the most popular format of items for our digital services. Checking out like the e-audiobooks for our 2 big services, ranks above ebooks, ranks above music, movies, anything.
I used to listen to books on tape in my car. My new car doesn't have a CD player.
That's why they're using the digital.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Is it something you want to pursue at this time, or wait to see what the group for Maine, what the consensus is?
Yeah, at this point, we're new to that. So as long as we don't make a final decision without coming back here, let's just wait and see
Okay.
if you can achieve a consensus.
Sure. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right, commissioner comments. Does anybody have anything? Well, I just wanted to say that I was lucky enough to, fortunate enough to, take a walk through at the CDH branch. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, you guys are going to really be impressed. It's really nice. And one of the things that I loved about it is that little sound studio that they put in,
Oh, right.
because that's the only one. There's not one in any other
We
branch,
don't
right?
have it. Nope,
So
that'd
that
be the
is
only
such a
one.
great idea. That was a really good idea. So I was happy to see that. But now it's exciting.
Yeah,
So hopefully
definitely
that opening
coming
date,
along.
yeah, hopefully that opening date won't move.
We keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
It changed again just today. So
Oh,
knock on wood,
right.
we're good for May 10th.
And I have a statement that I would like to read for everybody's benefit. Before I do read it though, and I know I've said it before in public, that I understand all of the angst that there is with issues. And I just want to say that I understand all of the angst. I know that we might not agree on things, but having said that, I do want to read my comment. So after hearing comments, reading correspondence, and being advised about social media posts from some of our patrons, I have decided to make a statement as chair of the Warren County Library Commission. This statement is my own and is not an official statement, nor on behalf of the commission. A number of people have voiced concern that the commission wants to ban books. There is no effort underway to ban any books. There are controversial books that remain on the library shelves and are available to peruse and check out with any restrictions on access, except by parents, according to the Warren County Library Circulation Policy. To reiterate, the books in question, although they fall under what is obscene according to New Jersey law, are still accessible to anyone with a library card. It was stated in the online publication, The Ridge Echo, that I said that we move books. That was a misstatement. We have not moved any books. But even if we did, they would still be available to anyone with a library card. At each library branch, a notice is posted entitled, "Looking for Book Reviews or Content." This notice was approved by formal action by the Library Commission in 2024. The commission welcomed multiple sources to include on that list. These sources or websites give an array of ways one could decide what is best for themselves or their child, or more importantly, what subjects to broach before an unsuspecting child would read a particular book. Subjects include but are not limited to violence, drug use, sexual proclivities, or sexually explicit content in writing or pictures. To be clear, these websites are not used by the Library Commission or library staff to determine materials purchased or retained by the library. They are tools for any parent or patron to use, not by force, but at one's choosing, period. Some individuals are quite unhappy with the content of one of the resources, Book Looks, that provided content and opinions about a variety of books. What has been clear and what we all seem to agree on is that ultimately it's the parents, unless they choose to relinquish it to another, to choose for their own children what to read. To this end, giving parents full disclosure and informed consent are vital principles of freedom of speech. The accusation is we are infringing on freedom of speech, but free speech goes both ways. Regarding the charge from social media that the commission is taking steps to limit public comment at meetings, let me be clear. The Library Commission meetings are run in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. The Library Commission meetings have been running under the COVID emergency order since 2020. The emergency order was lifted more than a year ago, and the COVID period is thankfully behind us. So beyond the Open Public Meetings Act, we will continue to live stream. Patrons should resume attending in person with interest, or questions, or comments, or write to the commission. In closing, I would like to share a brief anecdote to respond to comments regarding alleged book bans here and communist Russia. I'm not denying control doesn't happen in communist countries, it assuredly does. Please consider another lived experience from an escapee from communist China. Xi Van Fleet grew up there. She escaped to the United States, and now 30 years later, she is seeing the same signs of control here that she saw in China. But while China used class to divide people, America is using gender and sexuality. This is her story, just as many others have theirs. My goal is to be part of and help maintain a healthy library representing over 100,000 individuals, not groups. I'm sorry if my positions cause others grief. Additionally, my intention is not to marginalize anyone, but no one can claim to know everyone's life experiences. Hence, like free speech, it goes both ways. And I thank you for allowing me to make that statement. Okay, and there is no need for executive session. Oh, I'm sorry, closing public comments.
Yes, I'm ready. Let me just sign my name. I am puzzled by something that's going on here.
Do we state your name and where you live?
Anna Babitsky, Hackettstown. What happened to book books?
They closed down.
Why is it not an agenda?
I don't,
Why are you covering up? Why are you not telling us that you decided? How was it decided? How was it taken over agenda? There was a big uproar. There was people were removed from this committee because they voted against it. People were replaced on this committee because you needed a certain specific voice. And now you're removing it off the agenda by vote, by consensus, how?
moving it off the agenda. I don't understand what you're saying. It was never on the agenda.
That's my point. Book looks is not on the list. Thank you for that. We tried for 5 months to get you to remove it off the list. It was a racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic site, and none of us wanted to do anything to do with this. One voice that doesn't know how to select the books for their children, I can teach them. Their kids can also grow up to be aerospace engineers and attorneys. But now you removed it. How did you remove it? What was the process of removing it? Shouldn't you vote on it the same way? Shouldn't you talk about that fact that they closed because they cannot support it technically? Because it was, I told you in November that they're not going to be able to support it technically because they're being sued by everywhere, everyone and everywhere around the country. Why are we not discussing this? Yeah, that's the question, please.
Well, it's public comment, so
What?
it's public comment.
Oh, so you're not gonna tell us?
It's not, you're here to tell us your opinion on something.
Right, so my opinion that the cover up and your statement was very beautiful, thank you for that. Unfortunately, your statement is full of the same stuff that we talked about a year ago. You're using words like controversial books. Who says controversial? These are works of literature. They translated in hundreds of different languages. They read all over the world. They're going to outlive all of us. Who says they're controversial? You say it's controversial. You say full disclosure. Whose disclosure? Who says this is an obscene book? Again, we're going back to this whole point of picking something, showing incompetence, putting it on the wall, refusing to remove it for 5 months. And then when they actually collapse and they're not able to support that, when we told you it's not going to get supported, you would very quietly don't even talk about this anymore. Why not say the book looks went down? We cannot have it. And this is what we decided. Because guess what I think, I don't know if others have the same opinion. I think it's only a matter of time until Monks for Liberty or some other fascist organization is going to come up with something else. And you're going to ask quietly to put it on the wall because the solution to this issue never been reached. It was never about book looks. It was about who we are. We're fighting for freedom. You want to take the freedom away. You say there is no book bans. I know the book ban when I see it. So we are back in the same situation where the trust doesn't exist. I mean, anybody who wants to know something about the books, I would go to librarians. Librarians will tell me anything I need to know. They would look it up for me. They will help me 100%. Thank you very much for that. So why not be honest? Why not say, this is what we decided, this is what we saw, this is what we've been told? Why not?
Can I respond?
Please.
There's two things. We didn't decide it. They're defunct. So there was no point in having them on the list anymore, number one. And number two, I don't know that I ever said this publicly, but I feel like I need to. A friend of mine asked me if I knew of any websites that people could go to find out what's in a book, because, I mean, I don't know if all of you have ever done it, but I know I have with what my kids were reading in school. Sometimes if I had time, I would read what they were reading. And I told her, I said, well, I'll look into it. Then I found Book Looks, and she said, oh, the librarian already recommended that one. So that was recommended by a librarian from the Warren County Library. That wasn't me.
Library recommended that site.
It wasn't me.
Well,
I did not.
But I think, but again, so the issue that I am raising is issue of competence, issue of, common sense, and issue of freedom. This is the issue that we've been raising for 5 months here. If a librarian suggested this type of resource, this librarian is very suspicious. This is a librarian that has their own agenda. This is not a person who's going to actually say every book stands on its own merit. And that's what I think that's what we all asking for. But again, but that is not my question. My question is, how did you take it? How was it decided now that it needs to be taken down? That's my question.
It's defunct.
No, I understand this. It was defunct in last November when you picked it. It was terrible. It didn't have enough. It was misleading, and it was completely, offensive. So I'm just wondering, what was the process by which we came to this conclusion? 5 months we're saying this,
How do we
and
know
nothing is happening.
what that organization, you're asking us to answer what, and we shouldn't be having a dialogue, quite frankly. We should just let her speak, whatever. But don't you understand that organization decided to close down? We had nothing to do with that. So why are you asking when we decided?
Because you did not decide it last month. Last month I was standing right here. I'm standing here 5
I
times.
just heard about it, that the book closed. I went on, looked at the site, and I saw that it was closing down
Me too, yesterday.
recently.
Yeah.
I wanted a little.
Well, yesterday it was already closed. It's closed on 23rd.
So I don't understand your question.
It's very telling that you don't understand. The point, again, that we're dealing here with is the fact that almost a year ago, it's 11 months now, that the book bans were introduced here. This discussion goes on and on and on. It just takes a different twist. It has a different term. And Ms. Thomas, anytime you have to say it is not a book ban, that means it is a book ban. Because you would not need to classify it, you would not need to define it. We all see it, we all understand it. When you want to tell me what's controversial and what full disclosure is, that tells me that you're trying to control. That is the problem. That is my problem. And I'm very happy that it's down. I do not trust that it's the end of it. We have to keep watching because, the money that's being spent on
That's
that
4
attorney
minutes.
here. Just want to finish my thought. Money that's
I
being
think
spent on our attorney
Wait,
here could be going
did
to
the alarm
librarians
go
to
off?
educate them what that is.
Did it go off?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Sandy Roberts from Blairstown. Just start real quick with a thanks for New Jersey Maker's Day.
Thank
This
you.
is my 11th year as well, so fun day. We got paint all over ourselves, which is what we hope for. Yeah, so I think we can all see that there's still the trust to be rebuilt, and we've still got a long way to go. And I don't think one statement is going to give it. There's still a lot of concerns, and I know that you said it's not a book ban, right? But this all started because people specifically requested books be removed from the collection. Right? Books were requested to be removed from circulation. That's a book ban. That's censorship. And censorship is done for a number of reasons. I censor what my kids read, right? That's my job as a parent. But that's how this all started. That's where people got upset.
In Warren County?
Yes, you can go through the minutes. Two members of the community, one sitting on the commission, requested that books be removed from circulation.
That's
And
not
you-
true.
We all were here. What do you mean it's not?
Book challenges were filed. That's that's requesting a book
The
be
only
removed.
person who's speaking right now is the person who has the podium, please.
Yeah.
Just, thank you.
So book challenges were filed,
Right, but
You
that
can
doesn't
read
mean
in
we wanted the books removed.
but that's what a book challenge means. Like, read the collections policy, it's right there. When you challenge a book, you are asking for it to be removed from the collection or removed from circulation. That is what you requested. Maybe you didn't realize that's what you were requesting, but that's what you requested. Repeatedly, you came in and said that you found these books personally offensive, and I understand that. There are plenty of books in this library I find personally offensive. But I'm not a professional librarian. I don't have the training to decide what should be included in collection development. There are people that spend years developing that skill set, learning how to do that, tens of thousands of dollars probably to do so. And that's why we hire people with certain degrees and qualifications and certifications to decide upon our collections. So personal opinion really doesn't have anything to do with it. If something has literary or educational merit, it can be considered for a collection. I do think people are concerned because the books that were cited, that were asked to be removed, were books specifically that talked about gay sex. And that's why when Book Looks was suggested and why when the Library Commission decided to endorse it by recommending it to parents and putting it up on a poster by proclamation, a website that gave content warning of 2 to something like Flowers in the Attic, which I wouldn't let my kids read, but a content warning of 5 to Jack of Hearts, simply because it had gay content in it. Because let's face it, if you're okay with rape and adultery and incest and child abuse, but then, now you're talking about 2 gay guys getting it on, that's your line? I'm just saying, there's a conversation to be had there. So I bring all this up because we still have a long way to go. And I think we all want the same thing. We want our patrons, we want this community to have hopefully a diverse collection, to be able to make choices for themselves and for their families, what they're gonna read, what they want to read, and that we're going to make sure that my personal opinion doesn't get to tell anyone else in this room what they read, doesn't get to tell you what you read. And as a public servant and a member of the Library Commission, you don't do the same for us. And I think that's really important. And I will also mention, I was at the meeting when the past lawyer talked about moving books, yes, can be considered censorship and book banning. Restricting books, if there is no professionally cited reason for doing so, is book banning and censorship.
That's 4 minutes, thank you.
Was that my 4 minutes? Thank you. I will just present this to you then. Some 300 members of the community that want to make sure that the sites recommended by the Library Commission are professional, vetted sites, not anonymous sites that are biased.
In your opinion.
That one. And the American Library Association and the Supreme Court.
I'll give Cindy my 4 minutes if she wants to.
First of all, looking back,
name and
oh,
account.
Judy McDonald.
Where are you
Great
from,
Meadows.
Judy?
Great Meadows. When I never saw it like that, where are you? I just saw it as these books being sexually explicit, no matter what type of
And that's why you don't have to leave.
Heterosexual, whatever.
I never saw it
like that.
which is strange, but, so that was the original issue, just the, and I don't ever recall having, to talk about books like this ever before, of this content. In fact, there's a book there that we have here that we haven't even done this. In fact, talked about the books, shown the books, read from the books. So I just wanted to say that as far as what type, if it's heterosexual, homosexual, whatever, it was never about that. It was just in general about the sexually explicit content. And as far as book banning, I understand what you said about that as far as the challenge that maybe that was misunderstood, but we never did request them to be removed. We were working together to try and find a solution. You know, what can we do? We had discussions. We never asked for a book. I don't recall asking for a book to be removed or relocated. We didn't know what to do. This is a new issue that we came upon. So we were just trying to work together with the commission, trying to find a solution. And that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly Nemeke from Lake Township. As has been said, I think, hooray that BookLooks is not present anymore on the flyer, but knowing that the reason is just because it doesn't exist anymore is disheartening. And I, for a second, was like, maybe I don't have to do my comment, but now I feel I need to in case another decision is made outside of a meeting to alter the flyer and add something else that is also biased. So here we go. There are over 100,000 people living in Warren County, and I think we can all agree that the library is here to serve all of them. So I hope in the future that any other resources that you're promoting would serve also the 28,000 residents who don't identify as white, the thousands of LGBTQ residents, the Jewish residents who are, as we saw with BookLooks, we're being told that their own people's history is too obscene for youth, despite the education about the Holocaust being the way to make sure it does not happen again. I brought one of the books to highlight tonight called Bathe the Cat by Alice B. McGinty. This is a book that BookLooks called obscene, and I'm sure there are other biased websites out there that would as well. It's the story of a family rushing around to get chores done before grandma comes to visit. It's a picture book. The family chore list is written in magnet letters on the refrigerator, and when their cat hears that Bathe the Cat is on there, it panics, and it uses its little paws to mix up all the letters and changes what the chores are. So now they're silly things like mow the baby, rock the dishes, wash the lawn. It's absolute chaos. It's one of my son's favorites. We have to return it tonight because we've had it for 3 months. So why does BookLooks and other websites like that think that this is obscene? Because the family has 2 dads. It's literally the only reason. There's no sex in this book. It is just a family that has a dad and daddy. It doesn't get more homophobic than that. Professionalism differences aside with those websites and the other ones that are done by professional librarians, the main difference is that those biased websites like BookLooks are hurtful toward people. They're derogatory toward people for just existing. I don't personally find Common Sense Media or some of the other sites on there to be helpful to me personally, and that's fine. They're not hurting anyone. I hope that in the future, if the flyer is edited once again outside of the meeting discussion, that is taken into account because every Warren County resident deserves to not have the library commission be derogatory toward their very existence. Even if your intent is not to marginalize, that is marginalization. On another note, thanks for Maker's Day. It was great. My son had a wonderful time. I wish we got here earlier. We didn't get around to do the flower pots, but he's already asking when next year's is. So thank you for all the hard work that went into that. And the whole staff was very patient with him, which always appreciate. And one more thing that I jotted down here, with the recordings of the meetings, I think what's important to a lot of us is if we are unable to attend in person, that we could still be able to go back and view the meeting, especially as minutes haven't been uploaded for the past 5 or 6 months or so. So unless you are physically present here, like if my kid is sick and I can't get here or something like that, being able to at least watch the meeting afterward, then I would still know what happened. If you're concerned about words getting put in mouths, being able to see it could help with that.
Yeah, no,
So-
we're gonna maintain either a video or an audio,
Yeah,
so you'll be able to.
Personally, I have trouble with audio things sometimes with background noise and knowing who's speaking.
Well, that's not, yeah, we haven't even decided that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
using my 4 minutes to, say, I'm part of the community, tax paying, whatever, and, I'd like to be involved here, just joined the Friends group, trying to figure out how to help the library, and the more people are involved, the better I think the community is. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Try clearing the cache because the minutes through January are posted.
Okay, are they?
Yes,
Okay, I'll try that.
try it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Judy Frager, and I just want to address the people who do feel that they're doing a righteous thing by trying to edit the books, even though they don't really have the complete knowledge. And they might not have the openness to even see. I'm just going to share a story of my life, okay? When I first was studying to be a teacher, way back in the day, I've been teaching since 1988, and I'm still teaching. But when I started teaching, they were doing something where they would color you in your personalities. And you would do this test, and you would come out either being blue or green or red or orange. And I came up green. And my professor said, oh my, maybe you shouldn't be majoring in teaching because all good teachers are blue. You have to be blue. And I said, well, I have blue rising, but I'm clearly a green. And let me ask you this question. In a school, are there other green students? And he said, of course there's green students. I said, so all the students aren't blue, right? And he said, no, they're not. I said, well, are you saying that these poor green students are going to go through their entire education never seeing an adult who's green? They're only going to see blue people? And he goes, oh my. And his whole entire view changed because he realized that by doing this test and by only promoting blue teachers, he was alienating red and orange and green, because those are the only colors they had then. Now I think they have other colors too. But I felt confident that I was going to go off and I was going to teach those green students and be aware of the red and the orange students who sometimes may be annoying to me, and the blue students who have an awful lot of teachers who are there. And throughout the years, I've won awards, I've done things because nobody ever reached out to those green students. I just want you to think for a second, what would it be like if you did not know who you were yet? And you were searching. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to a beautiful library like this and do a little bit of research and find it, rather than going to the internet, which is even worse? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to read a story about somebody who was like you? And reading a story is so much different than watching a movie because it takes you a while and you have to digest it. It is so important that we present views that might make you uncomfortable, but might just be the green that that kid needs to see. And that's my point. We can't close people's eyes because of your personal opinion. We have to open everybody's eyes. And if you have a concern with that, come with me and have a cup of coffee, because I will blow your mind teaching you that there's all sorts of people in this world and we can love them all and not restrict their lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Teresa Esposito Jackson, Washington Township. I think a lot of people have already spoken to, again, the book looks and the concerns with that. I have a few other concerns that I hope get addressed, and I do have some questions that may or may not get answered tonight, maybe, next time. But my concerns are making sure that as commission members, you guys applied for this position and that you're taking those responsibilities seriously. There are some comments that were made tonight that gave me a few concerns, gave me some pause. You asked some good questions when you're here, but again, you have a website that you guys were promoting that some of you didn't even realize was defunct. Like you're not aware of that. Unaware of the fact that federal funding is now potentially being pulled and how that impacts our libraries, and not knowing that that even happened until it was brought to your attention today. Again, I remember at the last meeting, and there could be some clarification for that as well, is I believe it was stated that if we don't hire, and I'm happy to hear we have hired the level one librarian, that could impact our state funding, right? And funding is a big concern. And I know we're having hiring problems, and there's still part-time positions open, and we're still short-staffed because we can't hire. And we are now the lowest paying county library in the state. And that's concerning to me that we're not aware of all these implications to our funding, and we're on the commission and we're not paying attention to those things that are going to impact our ability to, exist and do our jobs. Like, I want to make sure the library has that support, and I want to make sure the commission is on top of it and making themselves aware of it, because again, that comes with a responsibility. I'm concerned that until recently, we have not had a lawyer present for every meeting, and we're paying for that. Our tax dollars are paying for that. And again, the concern for that and why that's even happening in the first place when that wasn't, common practice before that. One other conversation I want to have, and I want hopefully looked into, is I'm part of the Friends group. I have been for a couple of years. I do fundraising so we can put on events, and I feel like we're going to be needed more than ever, especially with the concerns with federal funding and how our hiring is going to impact our state funding. But something that was brought to my attention months ago is that groups cannot use this meeting space if they do not have their own insurance. That was something decided. I don't know if that was library, county, or what the go-between between the library commission and the county commission. There was groups of women just wanting to come and knit, and they were told they couldn't meet anymore because they don't have their own insurance. Like, this is supposed to be a third space, a community space, and that also hampers our ability to fundraise, because if we don't have certain insurances, or the groups that we're trying to bring in, or the task that we're trying to do doesn't have that insurance, we can't use this space. So I would like that to be revisited and see, what can be done about that. Like, even like a Mahjong group can't meet here if they don't have their own insurance. I'm not asking, like flamethrowers to come in here. Like, I get that, but like any group can't do that. And I feel like that limits our community, and that limits our ability as a Friends group to fundraise. So please look into that, and please make sure you're educating yourselves and you're making yourself aware. We're counting on you guys to help make sure that this place is up and running to the best of its ability. So I encourage you to attend these events like Makerspace. I was there. I do not have a child. I was there on behalf of the Friends group, wanting to make sure I was able to witness it, support it, post about it. That as a commission member, you guys should be trying to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Hi, my name is Debbie Roderer. I'm from Stewartsville, and my comments and statements are representative only of myself and not of the Three Rivers Township School Board. So it's been very interesting listening to some of the comments. People are expressing certain phrases like banning books. And whenever something that they believe should be on the shelf is mentioned as something of concern, they cry foul, and that you're banning a book. And that's very interesting to me, because number one, the professional librarian's job and the board's job is to make good use of the finances that you have and the limited space that you have on shelves. So unless your finances are never ending and you have building after building after building, all of the books that you'd like to house in, it's impossible to have all the books that everybody wants. And people have to remember that they shouldn't be throwing around the word bias either, because everyone has an opinion. And giving options for an app doesn't take away the other options they have in different apps that they agree with. The books that they're complaining about that the one particular app was saying had some issues, well, that's because their biases, they don't agree with that. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have a choice. And if another website comes along that would give the appropriate information and fairly, I think that it should be looked into. Everyone has a choice. Why take away the choice of other people that believe that they might agree with some of these reviews? I just went to the library today. As soon as I walked in the door, the youth section was on my right. Right in front of me, 2 feet from the door, I looked at the bottom of the shelf and I found a very interesting book called Let's Talk About It, which probably lots of people behind me have seen. It is a book that, according to New Jersey standards and the pornography laws that we still have on the books, this material would be considered obscene. Now, I guess some people don't think it is, but if my 10 or 12-year-old walked into that section and pulled this out, I'd be calling the police. Things like, well, I don't know, pictures of two guys, one guy on top, one guy underneath. And I quote, but depending on your age and where you found it, porn can also be unethical or illegal to watch. So do your research. Look up interviews with your favorite porn performers. Go to those sites that they recommend and pay for your porn. Okay, well, you know, maybe you'd go into a bookstore in the old days that, you know, had all the windows blocked. You'd go in there, and of course you wouldn't find your kids there. You'd find a lot of gentlemen looking through some of that material. But right as I walk into my public library, I find this, and I will use my opinion, this is smut. This isn't helping anyone. We all know that the wrong age of a child, age inappropriate material, which this certainly is for the youth section in our local Warren County Public Libraries, is not something that should be that accessible. You talk about wanting to have the parents having a say at what their child reads. Some material like this, if we can't pull it, which it should be pulled because it is still pornographic, why don't you put it somewhere where only the parents then could access it? If they want their children to see it, fine. But you know what? We don't even have to pay for this material, because the kids, if they want it, will pick up their iPhone. Most of them have them at 8, 9, and 10 years old now, and they can find it themselves. So I disagree with spending our limited resources on material like this. And, you know, groomers are really happy about this being on our library shelves, because what a great way to desensitize children to this kind of sexual explicit material. And there was just recently a bill signed by our Governor.
Gone past your 4 minutes.
Okay. The right to read bill, I'll finish with this. It was supported by the ALA, and interestingly enough, they backhandedly are admitting that this material is pornographic because they have exempted librarians that present this material to children from being arrested. If they were out in the street showing it to them, they'd be arrested. Thank you.
Thank you. There is, oh,
Jody Kegan, Blairstown. Looking forward to Catherine Dixon coming back. So I first found out about this through an email for petition for book banning. And of course, that got my attention right away. So then I dove a little bit deeper to see like what was happening, because you know, both sides can get pretty crazy. Just so you know, I signed the petition, so you know what side I'm on, right at the start. And I noticed that the major issue was this book look thing. And I thought, well, book look is just another social media website. And we know what social media websites are, right? Facebook, TikTok, you know, they're interesting places and they're fun, but they're like cesspools, they're sewers full of ugly comments and people just commenting for a click. So they'll say something like really stupid to get people all stirred up, which is not fair to parents who are looking for recommended tools, like the chairman said, and to get full disclosure and information for current information to help pick a book that their kid wants. All the board members are over here, right? Okay. So I thought, well, why would we rely on crowdsourcing when we need professional librarians' opinions and we do not need a county government endorsing a social media, which is full of anonymous information? Back when I was a young thing in the 80s and I had something to say to the local township or a board, the only way to talk about it was you wrote a letter to the editor and you had to sign your name and your address and knew who you were. And sometimes they would, you know, cut your letter in half or something. You know, you can't have all the paper. Back then it was paper. And so we lived by the rules. And then as the decades rolled on, the other way to get through was to, you know, get mailing labels and mail things out. But darn it, on that flyer was your name and your phone number. People could talk to you and they could touch with you. So the main beef that I have with this kind of book banning is the endorsement of the social media. We can't have that. And it made me think, back in the 80s, does anybody remember the Parental Music Resource Center? That was banning music. And it was led by Tripper Four and a bunch of political wives. But the thing that they did was they were out in the open, right? They were named. It was their move, you know, and remember all the rock stars went to Congress and were all crazy looking and they talked. But it was open and out in the open. I completely disagree with Book Look and any future kind of Book Look type of website that is going to just use anonymous information. It's crazy, it's ridiculous. So thank you for, let me show you, but I did want to say, executive orders, those are all getting challenged. Okay, so I wouldn't worry too much about the money. Every executive order is going through the courts. You just can't make an executive order and it flies right away. They're all getting challenged. It's all going to happen. So thank you very much.
thank you. Anyone else from the public? Okay, there is no need for executive session, so I will adjourn the meeting at 6:50. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second. Roll call. Is there a roll call for that? Thank you. All right.
Just had a question.